Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And in this series, we are discussing the Git for DevOps. I bet you must have seen the developer that they, as a team, working on the same code at the same time, right? But how that is possible? So, that is something a very most powerful concept in Git, something called is branches. So, in today's video, we are going to discuss what branches are. Right? So Git branches is nothing, it's just a simply a pointer to a specific commit. Commit we have seen in our last video how commit works and what they do. But in today's video, we are going to understand at the same time how Git allows everyone to work on the same code. It is a like think of it like a separate workspace inside your project where you can develop new feature, you can test your new ideas, if any bugs, you can fix those, or if you want to experiment, so you can do that safely without touching the main production code, right? Yeah, that's why I was going to discuss the branches. So let's start. ANCH branch, right? So what branch is basically, it is just a pointer to a specific commit. And how we can say that it is a pointer to a specific commit? Because whenever you do, right, let me show you. What we will do is, do we have any? Yeah, okay, the same code which we have for this series. So if I just run here, let's say git log dash dash graph dash dash all, and I want to print in one line. So here you can see that. What is this means, right? Here the main is your branch, right? You can name it anything, but mostly you will find main or master, right? That is the kind of master branch or the main branch where your actual production code is sitting, right? And you can see that this is the pointer and it is pointing to this main branch. That's what it is saying is what it is saying. It is just a pointer to a specific commit, and this is the commit ID. If I want to see git cat file, come on, and I just give this, right? So it will show me, okay, this is the tree, right? And this is something the parent, and this is the admin, the author, and this was the commit message, the last commit message to particular this thing, right? So it is certainly a duplicate version of your current version of file, but as a new branch under the same directory, right? See here, let's say you are sitting on the main branch, and I have here file, let's say 1.2.3.4.5, and I want to change to this 3.txt, right? Or the 4.txt, or whatever the 5.py, or maybe it is a YAML file, or either whether it's a JSON file, JavaScript, or whatever, right? You want to change something or want to update something. But at the same time, you don't want to uh, like corrupt your production code, which is already running. So what we can do is we can safely kind of snapshot we will take of this code, right, under a new branch. Let's say I want to do it let's say user authentication, some improvement, right? So I can just simply create a new feature branch. What it will do is it will just create a same file for me, right? And whatever the changes I am going to do to these files, that will be applicable only to this branch, that will not touch this code. So I have my area, I have my isolation space where I can test all these features, where I can experiment my POC and everything. Once I am satisfied, then I am going to merge my changes to the main branch. So that's how that main branch works, right? So I have made some notes. So let's go to through those notes. Okay. So here what it is saying is, yeah, it is just a pointer to a specific commit, right? It's certainly a duplicate version of your current version of file under the same directory, where we can safely play with file modification will not impact a file under main and or master branch, whatever you are referring. A repo can have multiple branches, right? As of now, I think we don't have any branch here. Yeah. So what it will we will do is we will create a new directory. Okay. I will create demo repo and I will go inside. And you guys now familiar like how we can initialize the Git. Yes, you are right. It is Git init. And here you can see I am inside of my Git. What it has done is it has initialized this .git. And what .git is, that's what we have already discussed in our previous video. Okay, so that's what it is, this thing. Here we will gonna see, okay, what all we have done. So as of now, nothing because there is no file added, right? What it is saying is you can add that file. Once it will added, it will automatically pick that particular stuff. Okay, now let's come back to our notes. So here you can see a few commands to play with branch. Git branch new, create a new branch. Git switch to existing branch, like it will change the branch. I will show you, or maybe the previously we have that something called git checkout, which we will discuss soon. Or if you want to do the both operation at the same time, what you can do is git checkout hyphen b and then you can give the branch name. So what it will do is first it will gonna create this new branch and then at the same time it will switch, it will take you to that new branch, right? Then if you want to delete the merge branch, you can delete. And if you don't, you want to delete the branch which is not merged, right? And the forcefully you want to delete, then it will gonna delete with the capital D. And if you want to rename, obviously it is git branch hyphen m, and that's what it is saying. So here also it is saying if you want to rename, you can just give this name. Here also it is suggesting as a hint, names commonly chosen for the master are main, trunk, and development. The just created branch can be renamed via this. If you have created, let's say with the main, right, and you want to rename it, then you can just simply run it with this, and it will just simply run. Let's say if I just want to this touch.txt, okay, added first file. Uh, okay, it is not accepting. So what I will do is git add dot, and then I will gonna, yeah, I forgot the git commit. That's why it was crying. But anyways, let's add. Okay, there is one more thing. Whenever you do the first commit, right, you have to tell who you are so that it can track the whole history, okay, in which file who has done what, right? That is why it is saying that author identity unknown. So you can see still this file is not tracked because it refused this, right? It is refused this. So what it has done is we need to add. What you can do is whether you can add it as a globally wherever you want to do it, or you want if you don't want to do it with the global, like you want to do it for the particular testing, so you can just add without this option, dash dash global. Okay, so I'm quickly gonna add this ID, and similarly I am gonna add this user dot name admin. Okay, now if I commit, it is allowed, and you can see this cross button is gone, right? That means that we have done, and you can see the moment you committed, it has changed your branch to master, right? And now if I run git branch, and you can see that we are on master branch, and that's what it is already saying here. And what we have only one file, right? So that's what it is saying. And similarly, that we have pointed out like where it is pointing it to. Pointer is just a current snapshot in the repository which will tell Git, okay, as of now you are pointing to which, right? And it is unique and always only one head in one particular repo, right? And how you can check? You can check if you want to do it, you can see it is pointing to the master branch. That's what it is saying, right? And how it is like if just want to cat this file, I think it is in .git, you can see it is pointing to this. And if you have noticed somewhere, this was the last commit for 477, this one. If I just want to do the same stuff here again, and here you can see added first file. So that's how that it tracked your changes, right? And this is something that we have already discussed in our previous video where we have discussed the Git under the hood, how exactly the Git works, right? So let's focus on the branch today, right? So that's what that you can see that this head is also important, right? So head is just a pointer which will tell you, okay, where exactly we are tracking now, right? So what I will do is I will gonna okay, let's create two branch. So first I will create with the git branch command and then I will use the git switch to the new branch. Once we do some changes with that and then next time we will use this which will focus on both command. Okay. So git branch, I will say, let's say test. I will show you the best practices for the naming of the git branch, right? But just to start, I will just give you the test one. Okay, and you can see if I just want to run git branch, so it is saying that okay, you have that one more branch test one. But can you see this asterisk symbol? So this is telling that okay, as of now, in which branch you are. Although in my prompt it is saying, but if you don't have this customization, I will show you in the last video where we will discuss the best practices for the Git. But as of now, you can see it is pointing to the master. If I want to change, so what I will do is I will just gonna git switch and I switch to the test one. And you can see it has changed to the test one. And same thing if you want to run git branch. So here also you can see the asterisk is pointing to the test one. And here we have the one.txt, right? So this is how you can now whatever the changes I am gonna do, right? Let's say echo my first change and I want to do it in this. And if you see this now, one.txt, you have this, right? If I want to switch again to the master, I will show you the magic, how it works. Uh, yes. Now if you see, okay, it was never pushed. One second. Let me go back to switch.txt and here we have this modified, right? So I will just say git commit hyphen a hyphen m changed one.txt and git status. Now it is saying on branch test one, we don't have anything. Whatever that we have done, we have this data. Now if I want switch to master, you can see that as of now, nothing is there. Why? Because that's what I was saying, right? Let's say this file is your production file and it is already working, right? And if you want to change something here, what you can do, you can simply create your branch, you can do your changes that will not reflect in your production. That will not reflect in your production. Why? Because you have that snapshot of your current repo in your local repository. And you can simply change, you can simply update, you can simply modify, and you can experiment, you can test, you can do POC, like whatever the requirement you can do simply on that particular stuff. And once that is done, what you can do is you can uh, simply merge that particular code in the master branch. Okay, so now you are wondering like what merge is, right? So merge is nothing. Merge is just like whatever the changes we have done in our the feature branch or the whatever the branch you have created, and you want to publish those changes to your main branch, your master branch, so that the changes will reflect at the end, where it could be your Ansible code, it could be your application code, right? So whatever it is done. And now if I just want to, one more thing I want to show you here. Come on. And if I want to show you this, this is the master, right? But if I just want to show you this git dot git head, it is pointing to the test one. Why? Because it is referring to this. If I just want to show you git log, here you can see that it is the master was pointing to where? Master was pointing to 477,904, right? But our the last commit was this, and our head is currently pointing to this branch, right? So if we just cat this, right, this one, so where it will gonna point? It will gonna point to this commit, because that's where our head is, and you can see it is 19FFDC, right? So that's what that. Now when you merge this, right, what it will do is based on your scenario, right? What is the scenario? I will show you there are kind of two types of merge. Based on that, it will create a new commit and it will merge all the history, or it will not merge, right? Basically, there are two ways, and that you cannot control. That Git will automatically decide on your changes, on your scenario, how your commit was when the particular thing was created and you have done, right? So let me go back to our notes. Okay, this was the head if you want to learn more. So I have just pasted some more detail here. And one more thing, right? If we have created a new branch, add or modify something in the file without merging that to the main branch, and if I try to delete, Git won't allow to delete it until it is merged. Obviously, you can delete it with the forcefully, and that is a -D flag, capital D, okay? But in that way, commit becomes the orphaned commit, and over time, Git runs a garbage collector, which is an internal thing, right? Eventually, it delete that commit. Why? Try to understand whenever we have this whatever that these commit, right? So each commit will pointing to something, right? Right? Uh, each thing will point to, you can see that it is pointing to this, it is pointing to this, right? And if I just want to let's say again I want to go to master, and if I just want to delete this, right, git branch -d, and I want to delete this test one, and we haven't merged, right? So you can see that error, the branch test one is not fully merged. If you want to delete it, you can run this. Why? Because why it is giving you as an error, and why it has not allowed. You can see still we have our branch. You can see the reason is whenever a commit is there and if it is pointing to something, right, then Git will not allow. Why? If you forcefully delete that, right, then what will happen is this commit will become orphaned, right? There is nothing who can point to, and that's what Git is saying, because it is not fully merged. When you go will merge this, right? So what will happen is that will point to something, so that it has a relation to another pointer, and that's where you can safely delete this particular branch, because whatever the changes you have done in that branches, that is already merged somewhere, that is already pointing to something, right? That's what. So what are the ways to do it? Okay, here is the merging the branch. There are two types of merge. One is the fast forward merge. How it is possible? Let's try to understand. Okay, let me quickly open a paint. Okay, it is paint. Let's say you have this one commit. Okay, you have this second commit, you have this third three commit, and it is pointing to this, it is pointing to this. That's what the flow we have seen, right? You can see. And if I just want to include this in our, where is the, okay, git log, and if I just want to show you the graph with the no pager, git no pager log graph test as all one line. Okay, it is not pointing. I thought that it will show you that kind of graph where it will show you, but there are another utility which you can see inside your GUI, right? In the command line also that is possible, but that will do later, right? I will not go in that scenario as of now. Okay. Yeah. So what is happening is now you can see that you have, and let's say that this is your head and it is pointing to master branch. And this time at this point, what will happen is I have created a another branch and I have committed something, right? And here this is the branch I have done, and it is pointing to this commit. This is my first commit, and this is my, let's say, test one branch. Let's take our scenario, the whatever we have discussed now, and here what I have done is I have modified something, right? It is modified code here. Now I want to merge this, right? Let's say this is something that I have done on 5th of any month, and it took me around 1 month to, sorry, 1 week to test all these code and everything. And now I am ready to merge this code. I am ready to publish my code to the master code, right? Over the week, the time which I took to develop this code, if there is nothing happened in this master branch, right? There is no commit on this particular thing. So what will happen is simply we can merge this code here, right? And what will gonna happen is it will gonna point to this, and this head will come here, and this is something that this history, right? History will go to your this all history log, right? And this is the way it is called a fast forward. Why? Because there is nothing changed in this code, right? The point where we started our branch, right? And the point where we are trying to merge our code, in between these two points, if there is nothing changed, if there is nothing modified on the master branch, that way Git will follow the fast forward strategy. And it is written also there. It is possible when there are not further commit in the receiving or the main master branch after the commit where feature or new branch was created. And that's what we discussed, right? Here, this is the receiving branch or the merge branch because we are going to merge our data in this, right? After this commit, there is nothing happened the moment we are trying to merge, right? Basically, no merge, rather just rewrite the tree or refer to a new commit. Zero chances for conflict. I will tell you what conflict is, but I'll just give you a scenario for the conflict, but in the action we will see in the next video, okay? So just simply move the pointer head to the last commit in the new branch as master and the new branch. Post merge, what will happen is we can delete the new branch because now we have already merged. So let's do this demo here. What we will gonna do is we'll create a new branch, right? We already did. We will just use the same test one branch here. We'll change the new feature branch, that also we have done and committed. Now I will check out back to the main and master branch and I will try to merge, right? So let's do one thing. You can see as of now there is nothing, right? But if I want to go to check out test-1 and this is my latest, I want to update this code to my main branch, right? So let's back to your master branch and I just simply git log. So here you can see that as of now there is only one commit and which is pointing to this, right? And simply if you see as of now I am pointing to the master and again this master is pointing to the this commit that we have already seen many times. Now let's try to git merge test one and you can see that what it has done is it has already identified, okay, there is nothing, no commit. Whenever we, if I just go up and in the test one, if you see the last commit was this one, right? Post that we have already done one commit. Similarly, when we merge, Git identified, okay, the previous commit was pointing to this, and after that, there is no commit in between, right? You can see that. This was the previous commit, and after that, on the master branch, there is no commit. So what it has done is now it has pointed to your head to this, right? And it has written over also this first forward. And now if I just want to just run git log, so you can see now head is pointing to the both, right? This is still there, right? It is still there, but it is already merged. Now the latest is this one. You can see that 19FF. And if I just want to do this, you will find what? You will find the parent of this. This is the tree, and this is the parent. Parent is this one. Because whatever the data is coming, right, that is coming from the this commit. That is why for this commit, the parent is this one. And you can see it is changed, whatever. And now if I want to cat this file, I have seen this change. Okay, so that's what the fast forward commit is. Now the second type of the fast forward is three-way merge, right? That is simply, right, simple thing. What we have discussed is the fast forward. That is simple thing because here there is no chance of conflict. So what conflict is? See, although Git gives you a liberty to work on the same file, right? You can do uh, your code. You can work in the same project directory at the same time. A two developer or more than two developer they can work, right? But what if the two developer are trying to update a same file at the same time? Let's see on let's come to our, let's say this is the main branch and this is the feature one branch where the developer one is working, right? And it has modified in one.txt, right? Let me copy. And at the same time, feature 2 branch is there, and there the developer 2 is working, who has already also modified the one.txt. And here we have some original data, one.txt in our main branch. Okay. Now we have done our changes. The both developer has done their job. Now they are trying to merge, right? So what will happen is now this was the main, right? And this guy is already merged this. It has already merged this data. Now, let's say earlier it was have only line 1 code. Now after merging, it has line 2 code, right? But when they have started, right, when they have created a branch at that time, this file developer 2, when it got, it has only one line 1. But now main branch will have a two line 1 and line 2. Now developer 2 will not have this particular what, will not have this what you call it, the main thing. So what you need to do is it need to pull the data. Here it will become a conflict, right? That is the one way. The second way is you have already done some changes on the main, right? And if you want to merge this, then the Git will flag that as a conflict, because Git will gonna confuse. Okay, I have a two changes here. Let's say it has updated a line 2, and here it has updated a, let's say, line 3, right? Or maybe line 2 even. Now get confused. Okay, I have two file where the same code has been changed. So which code I need to publish? At that time, you have to manually intervene, and then you need to finalize, okay, which code you want to publish, which code you want to merge, right? So that is a conflict. Like whenever a change has been detected on the same file, and the change is a different change, right? How exactly it is happening, how you can uh, overcome from that conflict, that we will see in the next video. Now let's focus to the second type of strategy, which is a three-way merge, right? So here you can see it has been chosen by the Git when a receiving branch has more commit than a new branch was created. What it is saying is, let's come to this, and if I just simply point to here, and I will just simply do this. Okay, it is pointing to already there. But the moment when you're trying to merge, what will happen is you have one more commit inside your main branch. And that time it was already pointing to here. And this is your testing code, right? So now if you want to try to do this, what it will happen is it will say, okay, no, now you have that one more commit, right? You cannot go fast forward. So what I need to do is I need to carry all these stuff, right? So that's what the three-way is. Why? Because one is whatever that you are trying to do. This was the one point where we have, let's say, the main parent of your branch. Second is the thing where you are trying to merge that. And the third is which is already committed to a main branch before you merge. So that is why it is one, two, three. That's why it is work one, two, three, and it is called a three-way merge, right? This merge will have all commit history from main master and a new branch as well. Hence, final commit where head point would have two parents. Remember, here we have already one parent. Why? Because that was the only parent. But try to understand this commit, right? This commit will have two changes. One changes from this previous commit, and one changes from this your modified your branch. That is the reason this commit will have a two parent. One is this and second is this. I will show you in the action. Now it create a new merge, and that's what we have already discussed. What it will do? Merge, diverse, and conversion. Because that is what, right? Because here you can see that this is kind of a diversion, and here you have the conversion. Let's see in action. Merging process is create a new branch feature, the main master branch, make changes in the new feature branch and commit, then check out to the master branch and commit new file message, whatever that you want to do. Now, main master branch have more commit from the point where the new feature branch was created. Merge feature branch to the main master, and it will automatically decide the merge strategy based on the commit history. And if it is more commit from the pointer where the new branch was created, then you can see something like this: merge made by ORT. ORT is nothing, it is optimized recursive tree. Here it was fast forward, but here it will be ORT strategy, right? So let's see. Now you can see that we have already one .txt file. Now I will gonna use this one. Earlier we created a branch and then we switched to the branch, but now I will do is git checkout hyphen b, which will do the both operation at a time. What operation? It will gonna create a new branch and then it will gonna switch to that particular branch. Okay. Now let's say I want to do this, and here you can see it has created a branch and then it has switched to test2. If I do this, so you can see now I am pointing to the git. Now let's do one thing. Here we have nothing, right? So I am gonna create a file called echo. I am from test2 branch, and I'm pointing to it to 2.txt. And if you want to see, you have that git status. So what I will gonna do is git add 2.txt. I will gonna git commit hyphen m added 2.txt from test2. And now I'm clear. Now if I come to this diagram, so here what we have done is we have uh, started our branch here, right? And we have made some changes. Now we have reached to this point. We have reached to this point already, right? Let me fill this. We have already reached to this point. Now, if I just go directly to the master branch and will try to merge, right? Let's forget we don't have this much, this commit, right? So what it will do, it will just simply follow the fast forward strategy. But that we don't want to do that. We want to check this three-way merge. So now what we will do is I will gonna back to my master branch, git checkout master, and here we have already one file. There we have two file. Here what I will do is I will change this, right? I will say echo changed from master branch for three-way merge, and I will point to 1.txt, and I will just simply git commit hyphen a hyphen m changed from master branch 1.txt, and it has done. Now if I just show you that one line, yeah, see, it is showing you to that graph only. Now if you see that, what will happen is you have three branches. Your point, your master is still pointing to this, right? Sorry. This was the first commit of your branch. This was your first branch where you have merged this. So it is also pointing to this history. If I'll just simply this one. It is pointing to this one. And this is the test2 branch where you have started, right? So here you can see that diversion. That was I was telling, this is the diversion. You can see it is going from straight to the right. And here this is the commit which you have done here in the test2 branch. If you just scroll up little bit here, so this was the commit 009f, and you can see that 009f, right? But this is not yet this. Now if I want to merge this git merge test2, so what it will do is it will create this commit, but this commit will have two parent. Why? Because if you want to just say git cat file hyphen p, and if I just want to do this, so for this the parent will be this one, right? And if I just want to see this, as of now, for this also, if we see for this, come on, for this also you can see the parent is same, right? Because this is the commit. This is the commit. For this commit, let me just see. For this commit and for this commit, this is the parent. Now if I want to merge this, so it will gonna create a new commit. And for this commit and this commit will be the parent. And that's way that it will gonna decide the three-way strategy. If I just want to see git merge, let me git merge test hyphen 2, and it is because we haven't done any commit. So it will ask you, okay, merge branch test 2, and if I just give the message here for three-way merge process, and I just simply save it, and what it will do is it will merge made by ORT, and that is a recursive strategy, optimized recursive tree. And if I want to see now, you can see that this was the diversion which was going to right, and now it is coming again back to the left, and this is a conversion. And you can see now my head is pointing to this, and it has created a new commit. And if I want to see this, you can see it has two parent. One is this one and one is this one, which is the test2, right? So that's what this one and this one, the parent, these two are parent for this commit. And that's what we can see here. These have two parents, and it was that something author detail who done what, and this is the message. And if I just want to see git log, so here you can see the initial log, and then we have done with the test one, and then it is pointing to the test two, and now it is pointing to the this was the from the test two branch. But the it for it is it has created this. But whereas if I'll show you the previous one, if we found git log where we ran, come on. Yeah, here you can see it was pointing to master, then it was pointing to test one, this 19ff, right? When it has done a fast forward, and after that, you can see that the same commit 19ff, it has just moved the pointer. It haven't created a new commit with the fast forward, right? Because you can see with this test one, it was pointing to 19ff, and when the merge was not there, the master was pointing to this one. But when you do a fast forward merge, it did not create any new commit. Simply, it will just move this pointer to the same commit. And that's what we can see here. It is pointing your master to this one. But when you have this three-way merge, what will happen is it has created a brand new commit. And once you do this, you can see that it has pointing to this parent because this was from the test 2, and this 099 was from the test 2, and this 7b was from the master because earlier master pointed to this. If we ran, we can see, I think somewhere, uh, you can see this 7be, it was pointing to the master, right? And this is a new, that's what. So that is the way, my dear friend, this strategy work for your branches, right? So based on your stuff, how you can do. But this way we can see that okay, we are working on the different file, and we haven't done all these things, right? So what I will do is, let's say echo new changes to 1.txt, okay? And I quickly commit it. Yeah, so the same, oh, no worries. And I just now check out to test2, and okay, it is without hyphen b because hyphen b will gonna create it. Now I will just say simply from test2, and I will just say 1.txt, and I will quickly commit. right? I will back to the master branch and I will simply say test2. And here you can say conflict. Why? Because you have done changes to the same file. Whatever the changes you have done in the master branch, that changes is unknown to the test2. And what are the changes you have done in the test2 branch, that is unknown for what? That is unknown for master branch. That is why get confused. Okay, there is a conflict. And how you can do this? You need to tell to the git. You can see that. On the head, it was fine, right? Here it is point till here the head knows how the file was. But now this is something that you have done from the master branch, and this is from the you have done from your test2 branch. So now you need to tell, okay, which one you need to help. And that is something that we will discuss in the next. What I need to focus now is there are few kind of best practices, right? When you name your branch, that is most important thing in a DevOps culture, right? Because the naming convention should be a fully descriptive. It should be a well explained how and why the feature was or the branch was created, right? So a proper naming pattern makes it easy to understand why a branch exists and what type of change it contains, right? So I just try to put a few which I faced in my stuff, or maybe which I have seen in the this kind of process. So you can see that fit is nothing, it is just a feature development which is used to add a new functionality, right? Where let's say you want to add a user authentication in your, right, in Jira ticket, what you can do is you can put your Jira ID as well, like fit, and in the parenthesis you can put that Jira ID, so that whenever you do, right, because this is something that local, whenever you run the Git branch, right, this is a local branch, right? There is no remote branch as of now. But going forward, when we discuss for a remote repo as well, so that time when everybody see, okay, which there are hell lot of branches are available on that particular repo. So in order to understand the other developer, other team member, you can simply just put your kind of your Jira ticket ID, right? Whatever that you are done, or Epic ID in your Agile terminology, so that they know, okay, this feature is belongs to this ID, and this ID is like assigned to you or your team member, and they can simply identify it. If it is something called fix or bug fix, right, then you can just name it like this fix, and maybe the login button, right? Resolving issues reported by QA or production bug that are not critical. And the use case for the implementing a new user story. If you have hotfix is something the name suggests, right? There is something broken in the production and you want to fix it as soon as possible, right? Used for the immediate or urgent fixes. And you can just simply name hotfix, and whatever the part you are working, you can just name it. The docs is simply just you want to update some your SOPs, your installation guide, or maybe the user guide for your application or for your code. Then you can simply create this. You can name anything, right? Yeah, I'm not saying that you cannot update your guide with the hotfix. No, there is no technical stuff which you are going to stop you. Only the thing is that is a kind of standard industry best practices for your naming convention of your branch, so that everybody knows, okay, what you are doing with your Git branches. Style is nothing. Style is just to create some formatting, right? If you are just changing something, right, in your code, you're fixing some extra white spaces, or maybe some indentation. That's what you are doing. You can just simply say create style, remove extra spaces, like that. Refactor is something where you are kind of restructuring your code, right? Let's say you have some YAML file where you were using the for loop to install some packages, right? But if you're familiar with the Ansible, then you can simply understand, okay, yum itself follow the yum, this kind of for loop. So you don't need a for loop in the Ansible playbook to install some packages with the yum. And now you understood and you want to change that behavior, you want to remove that for loop from your Ansible playbook. So simply you can rewrite your code, and that is something considered as a refactor. Test is something obviously you are adding or updating some test, right? Core is nothing that it depends on the maintenance task. You are doing something, right? Build script changes, dependency upgrade you are doing, right? Like whatever the update or upgrading or the maintenance stuff you are doing. So this is something, the naming convention which I found or which I faced in my stuff. So I just thought to put and share it with you. There is one more thing. Why do we need naming convention, right? Because it improve your clarity. It will give you a faster review. Okay, what branch does what? It will give you a better automation, right? When you are doing a CI/CD, right? So there also we have some kind of standard practices and which will help you to understand. Okay, like you want to deploy feature branches to a development branch, deploy hotfix branch to a production immediately, reduce confusion in team. Obviously, that is the main stuff of this. Okay, so that is what the branch is and how you can merge these branches inside your code and you can work all these stuff. All right, so that's it for the day, I believe. And yeah, that is, I just want to share with your this stuff, which will allow you to work independently, avoid breaking your main code. It will help you to collaborate safely with your team. You can run your clean environment because it is fast, lightweight, and obviously it is essential for your latest or the modern DevOps thing. Okay, that's it for the day. And probably I will meet you in the next video where we will discuss about the conflict, how conflict is happening, and if conflict is there, how you can deal with the conflict. All right. So I hope you liked this content where we discuss what branch is and what are the merging strategies we have in our Git. All right. So I would request you to support me here, like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done yet, and share it with your friends, colleagues, and the other team members so that everybody knows how Git works and what Git branches are. All right, so that's it from the day, and we will gonna meet in the next video. Stay happy, stay learning. Thank you. Bye bye.